Is there a word for bragging on someone else's behalf? I never really dreamed of settling down somewhere specific, or what kind of house I'd live in, or how I would furnish and decorate it. But there was one element of what you could call a stable living situation. You know, not moving constantly and keeping my possessions at a minimum and leaving stuff in storage. Also being more financially stable than I was in my 20s. That I was always really excited for. Buying art. Being able to afford it. Having a place to display it. I have been looking forward to that all the way through my 20s. I have always wanted to support artists. I'm just now becoming aware that, like, if English is not your first language, sounds like are probably really confusing and hard to make. Artists. What a terrible sound to have to make, this double S. Artists. Yeah, that's gotta be a tough one for a lot of people. It's like me trying to learn the LHE in Portuguese. My mind just can't grasp it. Anyway, I have always wanted to support artists. I think it's the biggest reason that I was drawn to casting as a career before YouTube grabbed me by the throat. I wanted to help artists move forward in their art, to celebrate them and assist them in some way. And having been settled in a home and a city for a while now, I have started to do just that. I've started to collect art. I mean, it started before I was really settled here, but I've definitely allowed myself to invest in it a lot more in the last year or so. Now, I think some people would assume that I'm talking about paintings or photography or maybe sculpture. That seems to be mostly what people reference when they talk about collecting art. And those are great. I would definitely get a painting or a sculpture if it called my name with its siren song. But that's not frequently the kind of art that calls my name. It tends to be a lot more random and varied and less in the fine art category and more in the craft category. By the way, those categories are a crock of crap, meant to turn art into some sort of elitist thing instead of a creative expression that literally everyone can and should take part in. So today I wanted to share the pieces that I've procured with you, who made them, where I got them, why I liked them, the story behind getting them if there is one. Basically, I just wanted to brag on the behalf of some artists that I appreciate because the creativity and skill of human beings never ceases to astound me, and I just wanted to be excited about it with you. We can have a little show and tell of my current collection, and then, I don't know, 2 or 3 years from now, maybe we'll check in and see how it's grown. Also, because bragging for other people is super fun, tell me about an artist that you really admire at the moment, whether it's a painter, a sculptor, a potter, a crocheter, a miniature maker, a drawer? They need a better name. A sketch artist? That sounds very policial. A pencil painter. We're really getting into the weird sounds in English today. Drawer. That's gotta be a tough one as well, especially considering the word drawer also exists. I've made myself a list with all of the info on the artists and the makers just so that I don't miss anything or forget who made it. But other than that, this is just gonna be a chill, unscripted, from here on out, celebration of art and the people who make it. Let us take a tour of the baby museum that is my house. Since we're talking art, I thought I would wear one of my most artistic garments. The legs are so loud when you walk around though. I'm like swish, 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 swish everywhere I go. First up is this. Very tiny vase. This is kind of what I would consider the first piece of art I ever got. At least, like, as an adult, with the idea of, I'm gonna start collecting art. Back in 2019, I believe it was, I was working for a touring dance competition. So every Thursday or so, we would fly out to a new city. The work was insane, the hours were insane. I don't know how I had time to do like a couple hours of sightseeing here and there, but I did. So one weekend we were in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I went down to the historic Old Town, I believe it's called. I went to this one gift shop that had a variety of items, but they had a bunch of pottery sitting around and a lot of little pieces like this, which I was like, okay, this is small enough that I have place to display it. It's small enough that I can get it in my suitcase to get it back home. And there were a bunch of different ones, but for some reason I really liked this one. I love this color of blue. I love the drip effect. So I decided I would get it, and then it turned out that the owner of the shop had actually made this. She had made a bunch of the pottery there. The other stuff was from other various artists and stuff around the area, but I had just happened to specifically pick out one of the items that was her actual work. And unfortunately, I didn't get a card or anything, so I don't know this artist's name. I don't even remember the name of the shop, but it was someone in historic downtown of Albuquerque. And it was just a really cool interaction because, I don't know, like picking out an artist's artwork right in front of them, having no idea that it's theirs, I think that means a lot to them. I know it would mean a lot to me, but she also said that she had considered not even opening the store that day or like closing it super early or something. And she was just like really thrilled that somebody came in and saw her artwork and connected with it and wanted it for themselves. And it was a really joyful interaction. So I will always treasure this piece as the first of my collection and a really nice moment in the midst of, let's be honest, a really crappy job. Where's my coffee? But while we are out here and while we're talking pottery, oh goodness, I also have this piece that I got more recently. This is by Dirtwork Ceramics. I believe the artist's name is Annalisa. They are a potter that I just found on Instagram, probably via the Explore page or something, and I've been following them for a while. They have a pretty big following and a lot of people who really love their artwork. So every time they do a drop, it sells out insanely fast. I think I had to try a couple times before I got a piece, but like literally within a second, the majority of the pieces will sell. They do a lot of this beautiful mushroom work, a lot of like Hobbity and Lord of the Rings style stuff. So I was so happy to be able to get one of these pieces. I just love them so much. I want another one of theirs sometime. But I thought this one was really cool. I like holding items. I don't know. I like that you can just put random things in them and nobody knows that's where it is. Although right now it is still empty. It always reminds me there was this store that I briefly worked at, like it wasn't my place, but I got assigned there a few times at Disney World. I'm pretty sure it's closed now, which is super sad. But it was the Christmas store in like the Muppets area of Hollywood Studios. And the store itself was really small and it was only one employee who was in there at a time, one cast member. But it was so beautifully set decorated, the store. Like, if you don't pay attention at Disney World or Disneyland or whatever Disney's to the set decoration of the stores, you should. But there were so many little things all around that were containers of some kind. And the cast members there would apparently like write notes and leave them in the various containers. I think I did as well. And they said that managers got annoyed with them for doing it and told them to stop, but they did it anyway. Anyway, so like having a bunch of random holding containers around is always fun to me because I'm like, maybe there's a secret message in there. But this one I thought was especially beautiful. I love the shape of it. It's such a nice sturdy shape. I love the blue here. Again, I'm really into this blue, like tealish blue turquoise shades. And then the mushrooms on the side are so pretty, and I love the way they do the moss. That's so cool. Anyway, so I was very pleased to get one of these. I would love to get another one of theirs at some point. But you gotta be ready for those drops, man. You gotta be able to click fast. Oh, hey, my coffee. Let me just top that off. So continuing with the pottery theme, I thought we'd visit my mug collection, which has expanded rather quickly in the last year. I kind of moved away from collecting stuff for a long time, again, waiting for there to be like a more stable living situation, a place to put them. But when it comes to stuff that is, mass produced beyond the world of art, I am still trying to kind of limit myself. I don't want to like collect things for the sake of collecting, which is very much what we did in our childhoods. Mugs, I've really dove. I really dove into collecting mugs this last year because there's something I actually use every day, and it brings me a lot of joy to use a different mug every morning. And I have like different mugs that I feel go with different moods that I'm in. So I don't know, it's like a practical, cute, beautiful, joyful, artful collection to have, and I like that combo. Anyway, the bulk of my mug collection is mass-produced, which is not to say that those aren't art. Somebody did still design them, and good for them, but we are kind of focusing on artists here rather than companies who hire artists. So this one is by Catherine Fehu, I believe would be how you pronounce the last name. Sorry if that's wrong. If I recall correctly, they're in Bulgaria, and it's another artist that I found on Instagram. I followed for a while, and then I was like, time to finally get one of the pieces. They mostly do this sort of scale work on their pieces, and oh my goodness, it looks so cool. I love this color in particular, this like deep navy blue, but with the slightest greenish hint behind it. There are some other ones though. I was just looking at their page the other day and I was like, ugh, I could get a whole collection of different colored ones because they do really beautiful colors and glazes. I love the potbelly shape of a mug. Like, it's so great to go in your hand. This handle I've always really liked. I never thought about why a handle would have this on it besides looks, but actually when I hold this, my thumb goes right on that and it like makes a little shelf for my thumb to sit on. I don't know if that's actually the purpose or if my hand just decided to use something pretty for its benefit. But literally, yeah, my knuckle goes on one side of it, my thumb goes on the other, and it feels really secure in the hand because of that. So cool! I use this one constantly. If you watch all the main channel videos, you've probably seen it quite a bit. And I love a piece of artwork that is so usable. Like, that's something awesome about pottery to me. Yes, I love artwork that you can just display and looks great and brings you joy when you see it. But artwork that brings you joy and is so beautifully done, and you can also use it for something, is just perfection. The other pottery mug that I got was more recent, and I actually talked about it in a video on the main channel. I said that I wanted a chicken mug, and a lot of people sent me links and everything, which encouraged me to just go look for a chicken mug. It's like, you don't have to wait for one to fall from the skies on you. And I ended up finding this one. This is by Morgan Coble Ceramics. It is so unique. I did not find any other chicken mug that looks like it. There were some other beautiful ones that I saw, but I did not find a single other piece that literally just was a chicken turned into a mug. I think it's so clever. The lack of eyes and everything makes it feel like this is a cartoon character chicken. I absolutely love it. I think it's so unique and so adorable. Again, it's got that great pot belly shape that I love in a mug. I love it. Just so freaking adorable. And definitely encouragement that, like, if you have some weird thing in your head that you're like, oh, I'd really like something that looks like that, and it's not something you make yourself. I don't do pottery. I've started to do pottery, but I'm keeping myself from diving into that because I don't have the time or the space. But like, don't be afraid to just do a Google search. Dig around. Don't just take the first suggestions that come up. I think when you look for something really unique and specific, the first stuff that comes up is typically going to be from a mass-produced brand, possibly from, you know, good old like Temu and Shein and stuff like that. So you do have to like spend some time to skip past that. But if you get through all of that and keep looking, you will generally find a small business, a local, well, I guess it's not local because you're finding it online, an artist. I feel weird saying like a small artist, but like I'm trying to find terminology for like an artist who's not famous, you know? But they're still out there doing incredible work, and I hope they become better known. Great mug, Morgan Coble Ceramics. I'm gonna take my coffee with me now, so I'll actually drink it. Woo, what's next? Now I have to highlight my sibling real fast here. My oldest sister, Carrie, is an incredible artist herself. She is a sewist and a quilter. She makes purses. We have a lot of artistic, crafty maker people in our family. I think it was very encouraged by my mom, which I am very grateful for to this day. But just by, you know, the privilege of being her sister, I have some great stuff that she's made. This is a very special one, and I think it's a great idea. So we lost our mom in 2012. She passed away. And my sister Carrie took a bunch of her clothing, especially like her sweaters, and she made each of us in the family a pillow using my mom's old clothing to make these rose patterns. So like, not only is it just a beautiful pillow, the rose idea is so cool, but also that makes it so meaningful, and all of our pillows look different. They're all from a different article of clothing, but that is something so special to hold on to. And that's the kind of thing that Carrie really excels at, is making these pieces that are so meaningful and have such connection behind them, which is really special for us. Speaking of connection, I have another one, something different, but also connected to family history. This is another beautiful piece that she made me. Light adjust. So growing up, my grandparents who lived in Arkansas, my mom's parents, we would go there every summer to see them. And this piece right here, this needlepoint piece, was on the chairs of their dining room table. That's a lot of sneezies happening down there, which apparently was like a furniture set that went pretty far back in my family. I think it might have actually belonged to my dad's parents and somehow got transferred over. This was just something I was so used to seeing every summer, sitting on those chairs in the dining room. Also, like, eating in the dining room was a special privilege kind of thing. They would usually have us eat outside on their like little patio area because, you know, it's 7 children. And the dining room was a place with a lot of breakable things in it. So these have such a special connection to my childhood. And basically after my grandparents passed away, we had all this furniture that was in their house. We had to try to figure out what to do with it. And I believe eventually my sister had to sell it just because nobody in our family had space for it, or we couldn't like transfer it. It wasn't worthwhile to keep it. But she took all of the chair covers off first, all of this beautiful hand-done needlepoint, which I believe was done by someone in my family. I've got to confirm with her who made this. But she took it all off, she salvaged it, and she made these tote bags out of it. I mean, this is like one of her specialties, is making purses and bags and stuff. It's got this beautiful inside pocket with a zipper. It's such a good bag to start with. So well made. And then also just this beautiful connection to my childhood, to our family history. So I love it. I love it so much. So she is Carry Me Away TX on Instagram, and I believe on Etsy as well. I'll link those in the description. With everyone will be linked in the description. What's next? This is fun because I think this is the only wooden piece that I have, and it's just gorgeous and so incredible. It is an apple-shaped container, which is why I was immediately drawn to it. I love stuff that looks like food or animals for some reason. I don't know why. It has this very delicate stem to open. So I got this in Ojai, California, while Matt and I were off having a little weekend trip up there. It's a very cute town. It was a very lovely little town to visit. Lots of nice stores, kind of like the whole Albuquerque thing. Lots of stores to go in with like local products and local artists and stuff. Why are you whining at me, sir? Mother is doing a show and tell. So there was a farmer's market going on while we were there, and then sort of across from it, there was an area of the sidewalk with all of these people who had little tables set up with their art on it. And it turned out that like they were all connected to this one gift store that sold their products normally, and then sometimes they would come out themselves and like display them even more so. So the artist was actually there. Again, it's always lovely to like see somebody's art and connect with it in front of them. I just hope that that brings them a lot of joy to see somebody appreciate their art firsthand. Because when you're selling stuff online or you're selling stuff in a store where you aren't, it still is really incredible. Every time somebody makes a purchase, you're still like, oh my God, somebody liked my art, somebody wanted my art, but you don't really get that personal connection of getting to see, you know, their eyes light up or just see their interest and their enjoyment of your art. So it's always kind of cool to find a piece of art that I like and then realize the artist is right there and I'm like, ah, okay, hi. The artist name on this was Arnie Rudman. He does wood turning and wood sculpture. The wood for this, he said, came from some Ojai fires or some fires that had happened near or around their town. I didn't really know about this. As I'm sure y'all are aware at this point, California has a lot of fires that happen all the time. We're just getting over the LA fires at the point that I'm filming this. But this was wood that he salvaged after the fire had gone by, which is why you can see like burnt areas on it. And I love that there's even holes that go all the way through. You can see the light coming through some of these holes in the wood. It's just so special, and I love when people take a tragedy and turn it into art. I love when people take trash and turn it into art. I mean, I saw this and I connected with it because it's an apple shape. But then when I heard the whole story behind it and chatted with the artist a bit, I was like, that's even better. It's even cooler to me now, and I'm so happy to have this piece. Thank you, Arnie. Onward. So this one is a weaving. It's from Meek Oak. The artist's name is Sam Montella, but Meek Oak is their like business name. So many cute things. Again, someone I found on Instagram. This piece, I was so happy to finally get one, first of all, because I've just been looking at their artwork for ages and like trying to figure out which one meant the most to me and which one was like perfect for me to get. Found this one finally. Freaking love it. I mean, I love teapots, and a teapot turned into a house with the little smoke coming up is so freaking cute, but then also the fact that it's on an old spoon is really cool. I used to, speaking of collections for the sake of collecting, I used to collect spoons when I was a kid. I actually still have them. I just picked them all up from storage a few weeks ago, so maybe we should go through my spoon collection at some point, because I haven't seen them in 5 years. I don't collect spoons anymore, but I just thought that that was a fun connection to ye old spoon collection of my childhood. And I love that it's like this well-worn, I don't know, used in a good way spoon. Like it looks like it's lived a life. It's just such a clever way to hang a weaving like this, a tapestry piece. Oh, and this one, oh my God. This one came with a little thing that I love so much. They sent me a needle felted acorn with it. It's so freaking cute. Just like a little bonus. Oh my God, I love it. It's so precious. This is a really awkward place to film lighting wise, but I really love having this right as I walk into my studio. I'd love to do sort of a mini gallery wall here eventually of other stuff as well, but this is a great first piece for that gallery wall. I don't know, it's just such like a homey, beautiful little joyful piece. I love having it here. Last thing in my studio are these sketches, or they're not sketches, paper art, prints of paper art. So these are by Brittany Lee. Her handle, do we still call it a handle? Is that still what it's called? Her Instagram is BritSketch, also her Etsy, I believe. She actually works for Disney, and I think I first became aware of her work from Frozen. She did like some concept art for it, and then I think she did like the art direction for one of the shorts or something. But like she specializes in this like paper art, and it is so beautiful, so cool. She does like calendars, she does prints of her stuff. When I saw the carousel horses, and I had recently purchased Cantaloupe here, I was like, yes, I need those in my studio. They're so beautiful, they're all so unique. They need to be properly framed. I haven't quite figured out how to frame them yet. I would love like one long frame that they can all go inside. I think that might have to be custom, but it's on my list to get them properly framed so that they're not just like curling off the wall like this. But they're so beautiful, all her work is awesome. It's all like, I don't know, Bright doesn't necessarily feel like the right word to describe it because she does use a lot of like pastel colors, but it feels bright, as in joyful and uplifting and beautiful and just so detailed and unique. Love it. How have I lost my coffee again? Where did I leave my coffee this time? Found it. So these, unfortunately, are an example of artwork that I have not yet found a place or way to display. So if you have any suggestions, do let me know. These are by Elizabeth Wade. Her handle or whatever is Elizabeth Wade Studio. Bye! Again, someone who just does absolutely beautiful artwork that I love so much. She specializes, or possibly only does, these like literary maps. So this one is Alice in Wonderland, and it's got like all the various locations. Mary Poppins. Oh, see, you know, this just needs to go into my studio. How is it not in my studio? The color scheme makes all of these great for my studio. I'm just not quite sure how to display tea towels. I should just get a set of hooks. That's the thing, when I got these, we were in our last rental home, and in the hallway there was just a row of hooks that was already there. So I hung them all up, sort of from their corner thing on the hooks, and you could just see like, you know, bits of them there, but you could come by and look at them closer. And I thought that was a nice way to display them, because the only other thing I can think of is like framing each one, but like that's pretty big. So that would be a lot of wall space. Pride and Prejudice. Love that one. Peter Pan. I love that it's like 3 children's books and then Pride and Prejudice. I love children's literature. So these are absolutely gorgeous. Love her artwork. Again, she's just one of those people who has incredible art. And it's like the reality is that no, I'm probably not going to get an original piece from her. I won't be able to get an original piece from a lot of artists. So I do love that artists nowadays sell prints, and they sell even like various items that have their art on it, so that if you don't have wall space for just the original piece of art or a print of the piece of art, you can get something specific and unique and maybe even usable. I mean, tea towels are usable. This is one that I would not use because I am not nice to my tea towels and kitchen towels and stuff. Like, they exist to be stained. The number of times that I wipe up spilled coffee with them is large. I would not want to use these because I would ruin them. But yeah, if you have any suggestions of how to display them, let me know. I might just go find another cute little hook situation and put it up somewhere in my studio and hang them there, because color-wise, design-wise, they would go perfectly in my studio. I think we're on to the last one. Do you know what my most precious work of art is? Oh yeah, it's you! Are you the most precious work of art in the world? Oh, so tired. Okay, so I saved a favorite for last. I can't really say that it's the favorite because I really like all of my artwork, but it's definitely extra special to me. The bread lamp. Ta-da! Y'all, I love this so much. So this is one that I also found on Instagram, but not by finding the artist. It was like on the Explore page, someone had reposted like a screenshot of a Tumblr post of the croissant lamp that this artist does. So it did not say who the artist was, where it came from, anything, but like in the corner of the photo, there was a packaging of some kind with words on it. So I literally just Googled the words that were on there because I was like, that must be like the brand name or the artist's name. It wasn't, but it still came up with the artist because it was like a product name for something else that they do. So I found the artist that way. This is, I'm guessing it's pronounced Pump Shade. The artist name itself is Yukiko Morita, and this is what they do. They make bread, hollow it out, add a lamp inside. You can get so many different kinds. The croissant lamp, I think, is their thing that kind of went viral, but like all different kinds of lamps that you can get. That is a legitimate piece of bread as a lamp now. The funny thing is, I recently saw this post go viral that was a Temu version of this that somebody had bought, and it had not been properly made or properly sealed. So they got this croissant lamp and it literally just started molding because it was just an unsealed piece of bread. Y'all, don't buy art on Temu. Don't. I guarantee if you see something unique and interesting on Temu, it is probably a stolen idea from a small business, from an artist, an individual artist that they have stolen and they're making cheaper. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. You'll end up with a moldy piece of bread in your room. This will not mold. It was properly made, properly sealed and shellacked. I love it so much. It's just so like funny, but also as someone who loves bread and enjoys baking, perfect for me. Also, the thing that I saw in the photo that I used to look them up was packaging for their croutons. When you buy the bread lamp, or I guess you don't have to be buying a lamp, another thing they offer on their site is croutons that they make out of the leftover bread that they remove from here so that they're not wasting it. And let me tell you, y'all, this is not an exaggeration. It is not me like trying to pump them up. They were the best croutons I have ever had. And Matt ate some too, and he does not even like croutons. He leaves them off on every salad. He puts them on the side. He even loved them. They were so good. They were just like this lovely texture, and the spices on them was delightful. So I'm kind of like, can I just keep ordering croutons from this company that is so far away? No, I can't, but it was great to try them the one time. So that's just like an extra special little bonus. It's like you can get a cool art piece, a bread lamp, but you can also just get some croutons from them and they're delicious. So that was my little show and tell, my little art museum. I hope you enjoyed seeing everything. And if you're, looking for a piece to bring you joy, I would definitely recommend checking out some of these artists. I've linked all of them, either their Instagram or their shops or their websites or whatever it is, in the description. When there's really sad stuff going on in the world, art is really a beacon of light and a bringer of joy. And, if it's something that will put a smile on your face when you see it every morning, when you use it to drink your coffee out of, then it's worthwhile having. And it's worthwhile making. So I guess this is just my little love letter to artists right now, because I think we need art more than ever. And I cannot wait to find more incredible artists and keep building my collection. I can't wait to hear who your favorite artist is right now. Give them a shout out, give them some love. They're working hard to share their creativity and bring us joy, and I very much appreciate it. Later, taters! Can you do some good sits? Yes, you can. Look at your little face in the corner. Are you the most neediest boy? Oh, there's clumpuses of fur back here. Everything is fine. Boogers. Farts. This is a really awkward place to film, but I've committed to it, I guess. So today I wanted to share the pieces that I've procured. That word did not want to come out of my mouth. Back in Trotty Paws. Did you want to read the end of the sentence first? Y'all, in between every single one of these shots, this is what's happening. So much carrying around.